Yesterday, I saw an article all about how people should be avoiding investing into Tesla. We need to talk about that article now, and I need to counteract some of the points made in it. So this article is titled 5 Reasons to Steer Clear of Tesla Shares. Though it's dangerous to bet against Musk, here's why you should be fearful. So let's have a little read through this and actually break it down. So Elon Musk is the richest man in the world and the most talked about business leader in the world. But has he lost the plot? Between 2014 and 2023, investors benefited from a stunning 1,000% rise in the shares of his electric car company, Tesla. First of all, yes, absolutely. Many people benefited off of what happened to Tesla between these years. Many people even retired from their Tesla shares, and it wasn't just investors. Employees with stock options benefited, fund managers benefited, many people benefited. Apart from perhaps Elon Musk, we'll have to wait and see what happens with the compensation plan. But also it's interesting how they say in his electric car company, Tesla, yes, it has been an EV company. I would argue though that is not the case anymore. It is definitely not just a car company anymore. Let's continue. But they have fallen 40% since the start of the year, amid concerns about his increasingly eccentric behaviour and questions about whether the Maverick is focused enough on the business. Okay, yes, they have fallen this year so far, but for good reason. You know, there's reasons that explain why Tesla shares have been falling. You can decide whether you think those reasons account for this fall or they shouldn't really account for this fall. But also, it's a little bit weird to me to compare 9 years of growth to just 6 months of a stock decline. They are not the same thing. You know, stocks in the short term do move up and down very quickly, especially a growth stock like Tesla. But you want to see the long term, whether there's been long-term growth or not. And with Tesla, there absolutely has. Then it goes on to say many investors in Britain hold Tesla shares either directly or through a fund, blah, 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 blah. So should they hold on to them, sell them, or even buy more? There are a number of reasons to be afraid. On Thursday, investors will decide whether to vote for a $56 billion pay package for Elon Musk. A key test of the tycoon's credibility will be next Thursday's annual meeting, where investors will decide whether to vote in favour or not for this pay package. This is based on Tesla's market value and how well its business performed between 2018 and 2023. Its sheer size has led to criticism that it is overwhelmed by greed and grandeur. Right. I really don't like this because number one, it paints the picture that Elon Musk is greedy. It paints the picture that Elon Musk is just after money. And he is, whether you like him or not, I really don't think that we can say that this man with a lot of money, he has amassed a lot of fortune in his time, that he's greedy. If you look at the way he lives his life and the way he carries himself, he literally lives like an average normal person. The clothes he wears, the house he lives in, the material items that he has, it's all very average. He's not someone that goes out and buys lots of yachts, buys islands, or any of this stuff. He is not motivated by money. That's my opinion. Let me know if you agree or disagree with that. And remember, he hasn't been paid for his work for years and years and years because of this compensation deal. So although it's performance-based and he has achieved what was laid out in that compensation plan, he hasn't been paid, although he has made a lot of people very rich. Employees through stock options, like I mentioned, investors, etc, etc. And also, he didn't make this pay package up. He didn't say, like, pay me in X amount of years when I've achieved this, this, and this. It was a collective agreement with the board, and it was one that not many people thought he would ever be able to achieve. Objectors include the California Public Employees Retirement System, one of the largest pension fund managers in the world. And if shareholders agree, Musk will add to his $200 billion fortune, leaving his close rivals in wealth, blah, 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 Amazon's Jeff and Meta's Mark far behind. This is written as though Elon will just get all of this money given to him, that it's completely undeserved, and he'll just go and spend it on things like yachts. Number one, he deserves it. He did what the deal laid out for him to do. Number two, people miss this detail. He has to wait 5 years after exercising his stock options to actually cash them in. And number three, like I said, he doesn't tend to spend his money on materialistic items. He will most likely spend this money putting it back into improving humanity, putting it back into a new business venture or his existing business ventures. It's taken the traditional giants of the automotive industry time to wake up to the EV revolution, but they soon may overtake Tesla. Name one legacy automotive company that is even close to overtaking Tesla in terms of electric vehicles. I'll wait because I can't think of a single one. Musk has promised for years to deliver fully self-driving Teslas, saying his electric car company would basically be worth zero if he didn't prioritize self-driving technology. But critics say his company is falling behind on that front. Rivals such as Ford have already introduced hands-free driving systems. Tesla is very, very far ahead of everyone else when it comes to fully autonomous driving. Their FSD technology is so good now, and it's making improvements very, very quickly. No other company are anywhere close to Tesla when it comes to this. No other company has the compute power that Tesla has. No other company has the data advantage that Tesla has. And no other company are solving autonomy in the way that Tesla is, which is perfect for scalability, which then feeds into the robotaxi fleet. Now, they've obviously commented on Ford here, and I have a lot of respect for Ford. I think Ford are pioneering the way for legacy automotive companies in terms of EVs and hopefully in the future in terms of autonomy as well. They are doing a lot of things right, but they will not solve autonomy before Tesla does. There is no chance. And actually what I think we'll see is that Ford turn to Tesla, like we've seen in the past, and actually want to license their FSD technology from them. So I think this bit of the article just makes zero sense. The magnate, his critics say, is distracted from Tesla by his portfolio of other business interests. These include his 2022 purchase of the social media company site Twitter, now known as X. This has led to a long-running feud with the US watchdog and Securities and Exchange Commission, which is investigating whether he violated federal security laws. The billionaire has said that the SEC is trying to harass him with a number of subpoenas damaging Tesla's reputation and hitting the company's stock price. The broader problem is the scope and variety of his activities, which may mean that he isn't spending enough time on Tesla. There's SpaceX, where he built the most powerful rocket, infrastructure startup The Boring Company, Neuralink, a developer of interfaces to connect humans and computers. One analyst said, Musk is far too between his pursuit of an auto revolution, a Martian colony, cyborgs, and the world's ultimate social media network. We see this argument time and time again, that Elon Musk is too distracted and he's not focusing his time enough at Tesla. Elon has grown Tesla's revenue, along with the team obviously, by 3,333% in a decade. That is more than many other companies, including massive companies that you know about, such as Meta and Amazon. And he did this whilst growing his other companies. If this is what he can achieve at Tesla whilst running all these other companies, which are very, very important, and whilst being a dad and raising children, then maybe a distracted Elon isn't all that bad, guys. People also say that he doesn't deserve his compensation package because he is way too distracted and not focusing on Tesla. I wish people would understand that the compensation package, yes, there's money involved, there's stock options that can be cashed in, but it's more about the voting power that comes with it as he moves Tesla through the next AI growth era. And I don't think he's that distracted, actually. I think he's very talented, and I think the way his brain works is a way in which most other people cannot understand. He's not like most other people. So people struggle to understand him, and I think actually he has the ability and capacity to take on multiple problems in one go, to build some of the best engineering teams in the world, whilst developing EVs, whilst pushing forward sustainable energy, whilst building renewable rockets, and all the other business ventures that he's into. Now, when we talk about Twitter, now called X specifically, yes, there was probably some personal motives that caused him to react and buy that in the moment. I think he was fed up with the lack of free speech, the controlled narratives, especially when it came to reports and narratives around Tesla. There was a lot of misinformation, and he was probably very, very fed up with that. Now, did he probably pay too much for X and shoot himself in the foot a little bit? Yeah, probably. But I think what a lot of people don't understand about him as well is that he probably has an element of moving through seasons with different companies. When one company is having a particular active time and needing to push forward the needle in a very short time period, he probably focuses more time on that company, and then he moves through seasons with his other companies. And also, he's working more than most people. He's doing like 120-hour work weeks, and this is working on the most innovative, most focused, most important things. If he only focused on Tesla and Tesla alone, yes, he probably would grow Tesla faster. But then that would come at the cost to all of us, because we wouldn't have a free speech platform, a social media free speech platform. We wouldn't be seeing the success with Starlink. We wouldn't be seeing Neuralink and all the good work that company is doing. And also, this so-called massive distraction that he apparently has between all of his companies is actually a massive synergy. It's an ecosystem for us Tesla investors because there is a lot of crossover between all of his companies. They are sharing resources, they are sharing talent, they are sharing ideas, and it all fits in and it all actually benefits us as Tesla shareholders. So I would say yes, there probably would be more growth if he only had Tesla, but I think he's doing a pretty good job running Tesla very smoothly, even though he has all of these other things going on. And I saw this as well posted on X, which I thought demonstrated his dedication even more. So this guy said, I was with Elon nearly every day during the Model 3 hell. This included Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's Eve, his birthday, and nearly missing his brother's wedding. He left the factory to fly straight there, barely making it, as he was helping resolve production challenges and being present with the associates and the whole team. From countless first-hand experiences, I cannot begin to even describe the immense personal sacrifice and commitment made by Elon directly from the front line. I took the below photo on the day of his birthday at close to midnight. We were stationed at the paint ingress, station 1911, resolving the constraint for the entire production system. And this is him sat on the floor there. The tenacity and willingness to perform any job and drive to excel is unwavering. When I first started at Giga Texas, Elon slept on site for a period of time. His direct ask, which people on the floor didn't even believe at first, your goal is not to let me sleep. The machines need to be running 24/7. It was an awesome fire to have lit and drove all of us. From the initial site you see, blah, 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 blah. Basically, these are employees saying how dedicated they see him be firsthand. Let's continue. The Tesla founder is an ally of Donald Trump and a poster boy for the US right. Okay, we could get into that, but let's just move on. He and Trump have been speaking several times a month. Okay, I'm not going to read all of this, but you can read this here. When Musk was asked last year if he was becoming more political, he said, I think if you consider the fight against the woke mind virus, which I consider to be a threat to civilization, to be more political, then yes. Okay, let's move on. This is the biggest threat of all. This is about China. The world's dominant electric car manufacturers are now Chinese. BYD, a car maker that Musk once ridiculed, overtook Tesla late last year as the world's bestseller of EVs. The situation for Tesla was worsened as Chinese manufacturers continue to flood Western markets, accounting for 25% of almost all new cars sold. Musk is well aware of the danger and stated earlier this year that Chinese EV makers will crush their competition if there are no trade restrictions. There's a lot to unpick there. Firstly, I have a lot of respect for BYD like I do Ford. They are doing fantastic things and they are a really, really strong, good company. But we do have to understand that when it comes to any other company, there are only really two main companies that are actually making money on their electric vehicles right now, BYD and Tesla. It is not an easy thing to do. Tesla specifically are the only profitable EV maker in the US. Most companies are losing a lot of money producing EVs. Are there other EVs on the market? Yes, there are some really attractive EVs out there that customers will buy over a Tesla, of course. But taking that from a consumer point of view to an investor point of view is quite different. But do Tesla have the advantage? That's what we've got to ask ourselves. And I think when it comes to scalability, their production, and also their technology advancements and their technology advantages, I think they absolutely do. They are producing robots on wheels. And of course, they have their full self-driving technology that, like I said, no other company comes close to. From my personal experience, I have been seeing more and more Teslas on the road here in the UK as time goes on. In fact, the other day I took a 20-minute drive and I counted 6 Tesla vehicles in that time period. But outside of their standard range, is there really much competition for, let's say, the semi-truck or the Cybertruck? I don't really think that there is. Taking the Cybertruck, for example, there are other pickup trucks available, but the Cybertruck is pretty unique. It boasts unique features. We think about the exoskeleton, that's really tough, really durable. It doesn't really dent easily. It has charging ports for tools, the towing capacity. It has all these features that maybe puts it ahead of some other pickup trucks out there. And then we have to consider everything else that Tesla's doing that other EV manufacturers, whether they're Chinese ones or not, aren't even competing on. They've got their full autonomy, their robo-taxi fleet, their humanoid robot, their energy sector, all these other things that make Tesla such a good company, in my opinion. In terms of EVs though, EVs alone, I think that there will be, in the long term, I think that there will be Tesla, I think that there will be some Chinese companies as well operating, and maybe one or two of the legacy automotive companies that may stick around. But I think they will only stick around if they work closely with Tesla. I think that there's a chance that a lot of the other ones will just slowly deteriorate because they're not going to be able to keep up with the software race. They've been very good at hardware for a very long time, but this is now shifting and cars are now becoming more and more about their software. And also just another thing on BYD versus Tesla, because it said that they're outselling Tesla vehicles now. You have to be really careful with the reports, the numbers that you see, because quite often it will show you how many cars Tesla's selling, which are all EVs. Every single one of Tesla's cars is an EV. But then it will compare it to BYD's range, but they will include data from both full EVs and also hybrid vehicles, which is not comparable. So just be careful with that. So yes, I do think Tesla has a little bit of competition when we look at BYD specifically in the Chinese market, but I still think Tesla are doing wonderful things there. They're really, really pushing forward in the Chinese market. And also when we look outside of the Chinese market in the US and globally around Europe, everywhere else, Tesla is still leading. And it's also just the wrong comparison because Tesla isn't a car company. Okay, you can read the rest of the article, but that's the main bits that I really wanted to respond to. Do let me know what you think about all that in the comments below. If you want to watch these episodes ad-free, get exclusive and extended content and a bunch of other perks, become an insider of the Inner Circle Vault. Link in the description.